Hi everybody, it's me Carly, and today I'm making a video about teaching in Spain during the global pandemic, the pros and the cons. Okay, so in case you've never seen me before, like I said, my name is Carly and I make videos about teaching English online, offline, and abroad. And this is my 8th year teaching in Spain. Woo! I don't have any balloons. Really happy to be still living here in Spain. It's been a interesting, sometimes really difficult journey, and this global pandemic has definitely been a challenge. I think no matter where you are in the world, living during this global pandemic is probably a challenge for you in your life. And lately I've had some people emailing me asking me what it's like teaching in Spain right now. Is it a good idea to come here and teach during the global pandemic? And I decided to make a pros and cons video. I mean, there are some pros for living here right now in particular, but unfortunately there are a lot of cons. Okay, so first let me just start out telling you a little bit about me in case you've never seen any of my other videos. I currently work as an in-company business English teacher. So I teach adults and I usually go to the companies and I have a room for me to teach them for like an hour. Sometimes I have different groups within the same companies, but usually I'm going from different companies. I usually work for like 5 or 6 companies. Okay, but anyway, I started out working in Spain as an auxiliar through a really standard program here that's run by the Spanish Ministry of Education. It's free to apply. It, in my opinion, is the best program to do if you're trying to come to Madrid as a novice teacher. Definitely check out my other video if you want to learn about that program and how to apply. I did that program for 3 years. It was great, but I'm over it. I'm over it for a lot of reasons. But yeah, it's just not for me anymore, and I enjoy having more autonomy over my schedule and what I do for work. And I prefer teaching adults over children full time. I love kids, don't get it twisted. But anyway, besides doing that, I also teach online. I still work for 51 Talk. Every single video I make, people are like, are you still working for 51 Talk? Yes, I still work for 51 Talk. And if you want to learn more about 51 Talk, I have videos about that as well, so check them out. Okay, anyway, back to the thing at hand, the global pandemic, the thing making everybody change their lives. I was in Spain when the global pandemic started. I have videos all about like my day-to-day happenings on my Instagram if you want to see what I was like going through and doing on a day-to-day basis. I have to say it was really challenging because I live in Madrid, and Madrid and Spain have had a horrible go with the global pandemic. I mean, Spain has been really hard hit. We were living under confinement. We couldn't leave our houses for 2 months or so. Like, no leaving your house at all. Not to exercise, not to do anything. The only reason why you could leave your house was to go buy groceries. It was miserable, I'm not gonna lie. I really hated it. It was kind of like being on house arrest, but with a whole lot of other people and with fear and everything else mixed into it. So honestly, it's taken me a long time to kind of like get over that, and I'm still getting over it. And even still to this day, some days I just want to chill at home and relax. But I'll remember those days where I was confined at home and I'm like, no, I'm going out, I'm going out. Let me first go through the pros of living here during the pandemic, teaching here during the pandemic, because there are a few pros. And the first one I would say is that traveling right now is super cheap. Now, I was really lucky and I was able to have a nice, almost 2-week-long vacation this summer. I went to Cadiz, I went to Malaga. Those are both places in the south of Spain. Chilling at the beach. Everything was really cheap. It was really easy to do stuff. Normally you need to have reservations because there are so many tourists and people traveling that you can't just like go and do things willy-nilly. I did El Caminito de Rey. It's a really cool hike. Usually you need to book that months and months in advance, at least weeks, and I just booked it like a week or 2 before. So really awesome, easy to travel, cheap to travel right now. But on the converse, can you travel right now? Right now, if you live in Madrid or in a lot of other places around Spain, you can't travel at all. You have to stay in your city. Actually, Madrid just went under the 2nd lockdown yesterday. I don't know why I'm smiling about it. But I guess because it's just so much political drama here, you can't even imagine. If you think American politics are juicy, Spanish politics are juicy. So yeah, we just went under state of alarm yesterday, so I can't leave Madrid at all. And this is supposed to be for like 2 weeks or 15 days, so we'll see what happens with that. Another pro of teaching here and living here right now is that it's going to be easier for you to find housing, easier than ever, because there are fewer students, there are fewer teachers, fewer foreigners coming here trying to live. And number 3, depending on who you are and where you come from, maybe you will be able to have universal health care, which is amazing. One of my friends is about to have a baby, and she's had her baby for totally free. I mean, yes, we pay taxes, but she doesn't have to pay anything out of pocket for anything related to having her baby. If you want to learn more about that, I'll link her channel here. She actually just made a video about it, but I was like, wow, you can have a baby for totally free in Spain. Thank you, universal healthcare. It's amazing. Okay, so those are my pros. Sorry, the list of pros is pretty short. Okay, so, but I was trying to be positive, and I did ask other people, and I did think about this for a long time, like, what are good things about living and teaching here right now? But just unfortunately, there's not a lot of pros, because it's a global pandemic. So let me tell you how it really is right here, right now, the cons for living here. Okay, first of all, living conditions here are not so good because the housing is just not as big. You don't have as much space. Maybe your apartment doesn't even have an oven. I mean, this just in general, compared to an apartment that would be in the States, an apartment in Madrid, in Spain is just not as nice. You're not gonna have the same level of living here. Not unless you got money. But if you're coming here on, you know, standard salary, you're not gonna be able to afford a very nice place. I mean, you might not have air conditioning. I've never lived in an apartment with air conditioning. And Madrid is very, very hot in the summer. That's why I leave every summer. You may not have central heat. A lot of apartments in Spain do not have central heating. You might have to have like an electric heater. I actually have some footage of my last apartment. I'm thinking about making a video about that. So if you guys are interested in seeing what a Spanish apartment looks like write in the comments. Another really bad thing about specifically living here in Spain and Madrid right now is that in the first wave of the pandemic, the hospitals got overrun. They turned the ice skating rink into a mortuary. They turned the convention center into a hospital. There's not enough space for all the people. So I know that's a problem like in a lot of places around the world, but just so you know, if you do get really sick and you do have to go to the hospital, you might be in the hallway, you might be in some like makeshift hospital. I mean, I hope so much that the hospitals don't get overrun again, but just be aware that that was something that happened in the past and something that could happen in the future, you know? Number 3, pro, I would say, is that you can get PCR tests here now, but they're not easy to get, especially if you're trying to get it for free through the healthcare system. I have had various people in my life who have had to go get PCR tests and they had to wait in line for hours. I mean, 6 hours, 4 hours, 2 hours, and you pay like 85 euros, which is about $100, okay? So it's not super easy to get a PCR test. The way I see some of my friends who go get PCR tests in America, it seems like it's really fast and easy process. Okay. But that could be different throughout Spain. I don't know. I only know people really in Madrid who've had to get PCR tests. Number 4, I would say if you're trying to get some non-essential medical care, right now it might be a bit difficult because depending on where you are, the doctors may already be strained. And I didn't say nurses because right now the nurses are actually having a strike. So right now, getting healthcare here, if it's a non-essential thing, depending on what part of Spain you're in, it may be hard or not possible to get done through the public healthcare system. And with private healthcare system, yeah, you can probably do it, but it's still gonna take you a lot longer than it would under normal circumstances. Ooh, okay, I hate to say this, but anyone who has lived here knows it is true, but the sanitation, the hygiene here is kind of questionable. I've never seen so many people so just blatantly go to the bathroom and leave without washing their hands. That's before and now. Like, I still see people go to the bathroom and not wash their hands. Before, let me tell you, I was working at a charter school, and the teacher's bathroom, there was only one teacher's bathroom in the school. That bathroom didn't have any soap.
Oh my God.
No soap, not even a dispenser. So it wasn't like the dispenser was empty. They didn't have soap at all. So that means none of the teachers were washing their hands with soap. Okay, unless they were like bringing soap from their houses. I actually did bring soap to wash my hands and hand sanitizer, but I was always like, ooh, don't touch me. And besides that, you know, people here, they cough and just like, like nothing. Even with the mask on, sometimes I see people take the mask off to cough. I don't know, people might be doing that all around the world, but super gross. The hygiene here in general, to me, compared to the States, is just not at the same level. During global pandemic, it's especially worrisome. All right, number 6 is that bureaucracy here in Spain is a pain. Ooh, it's a pain. Now, if you are a foreigner coming here to teach, you're definitely going to have to deal with some bureaucracy. You're probably going to need to get some papers or go to the police station for your fingerprints, get your card, your residency card, those kind of things. It's gonna be really difficult, okay? Because imagine that those offices were closed for months on end, and now they're open and they are super backed up. So people literally will be on the computer hitting refresh all day in order to get appointments. And at one point, people were selling their appointments for up to 200 euros. It's not easy, and it's something you absolutely have to do, and there are time limits for these things. So the bureaucratic processes are going to be even more cumbersome this year than ever. And the last really bad thing about being here teaching during the global pandemic is mask. All right, so you better get used to wearing some masks here, because in Madrid, you are required to wear a mask if you are outside your house. If you're running, if you're in a school, if you're in the grocery store, any and everywhere pretty much outside of your house, you've got to wear a mask. And that can be really problemsome if you do not speak Spanish well or understand Spanish well, because just imagine, tienes que entender a la gente así. Like, you have to understand the people without being able to see their lips. Which means that forming relationships with people and meeting people is going to be more difficult. For example, right now, Madrid and a lot of other parts of Spain have an 11 o'clock curfew, which is actually kind of more like 10 o'clock. If you're in the restaurant at 10 o'clock, you can stay until 11 o'clock, but at 11 o'clock, the restaurant is closed. So the amount of time you can spend outside in public socializing is really limited. You can go to people's houses, but you also have to keep in mind that groups can only be up to 6 people. I'm not personally trying to go out and do a whole lot of socializing with random people right now, and I imagine that a lot of other people aren't either. But I'm just saying that if you come here to teach right now and you don't know anyone, it's going to be a bit more difficult for you to meet people because of the restrictions. You know, social distancing is in full effect here, okay? So anyway, those are all my big cons for living and teaching here during the global pandemic. I really hope you guys like this video. I'm sorry it's so negative, but it's the truth. It's not the business coming here to teach during the pandemic. I mean, who knows how long. Oh my God, there's a dog on the roof of the house next to mine. Just got so distracted, but there are a lot of opportunities in life that sometimes you're gonna feel like, I've gotta do it right now. But sometimes I think it's better just to wait, because you have to think about your mental health. Are you young? If you get the virus while you're here, are you going to have, you know, a serious illness? Probably not. But you have to deal with the other negative aspects of living here while all of this is happening. And you're going to be doing it without any kind of support, probably, if you're coming here alone. You're not going to have your family. You're not going to have your close friends. So it's really rough. And I don't recommend it. But do what you want to do. Come here if you want. And I wish you the best of luck. And let me know what you think. Are you already here? Are you planning to come here? Tell me what you think about this video in the comments. So I really hope you guys enjoy. If you like this video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, thanks. Bye.